Hello!
We are
Annie and Konstantin.
and you're watching another episode of
Updates! So, on our very, very long journey to fame and success and making the world a better place, we accomplished again a small step. We've been to my professor who is going to be my thesis advisor with a proposed outline of my master's thesis, which went over pretty well. And Anne's thesis advisor, cautious optimism, agreed to be my second corrector. So I need to meet her professor, so I have the green light for him to be my second corrector, because I do have to officially declare my thesis 3 months after the starting of the semester, and that deadline will be there in 2 weeks. There was no real reason not to have started it earlier, because I haven't done shit.
Yeah, it's true. We've just been slacking and not doing anything for the past, months. Anyway, these current times at the KA headquarters are very much university-based. I'm working on university stuff for the next couple weeks too. Just because there's a lot of little papers and bigger papers and overall progress to get done. Which is good, actually, because we have chosen academia, these master's degrees, as part of our little path in the filmmaking world. And it's kind of exciting. It's nice to get to do the scientific work, the intellectual work behind it all. And it's a good way to really find our home in this beautiful world of media.
But of course, as every week we learned some things.
So we tried and failed a full 4 times to record my Epiphany this week. So I'm just gonna sit on my desk with a glass of wine and all the lights in my room on and do this the, less professional sort of way, because I can. I'm gonna do it right now, and no matter how terrible this looks right now, I'm using it. It's just the way this reality works now. So I've been thinking about fear, because it's always been just a very present thing in my life. I have always been afraid of a lot of things. I have always been a worrier. I have always been someone who, tries to prepare for all the terrible things that could go wrong, and who tries to control her surroundings and, know and understand everything so that I can control everything and not get hurt. And I inevitably have failed my entire life, because it turns out pain is inevitable. No matter what you do, no matter what you try, you're going to get hurt. You're going to get betrayed, things are going to fall apart, things are going to suck. And in fact, it seems that the more you worry and fret, the more bad things actually happen. So here is the very freeing, hopeful, amazing epiphany I have for you this week. Pain is inevitable. That does not sound hopeful, but it is, because when it's inevitable, you don't need to prepare for it. You don't need to try to control things. You don't need to make your entire reality about waiting for the other shoe to drop. Because pain is inevitable. The other shoe will drop. And the best thing, the only thing you actually can do to minimize the pain in your life is to maximize the good stuff. Is to enjoy life. Is open up and have fun and barrel into life. Take it with all the, fierce passion and energy that you have. All you can do is be your best self. All you can do is hope and dance and fucking go for it. Is to allow yourself to revel. So this is this week's lesson. Things will go wrong in your life. Like your camera failing 5 different frickin' times, and, things a whole lot worse than that. You can't prevent them from happening, so you're free. You don't need to prevent them from happening. You can focus on better things.
So I think the image or the theme of change and of circles is ironically a reoccurring one for me And especially last week, since Anne has been dabbing into tarot and we've been talking about all that spiritual good stuff. And the general idea for me behind that circle is that you start out with not knowing anything, learning more, having your ups and downs, and at the end of the circle you have kind of the feeling like you've understood everything and you mastered everything, and right after that you're in a state where you don't know anything at all. And I feel like the last or the weeks before this one, I was in a state of this final stage where I like, okay, I think I figured it out. I understand what's going on and see things the way they are. And last week was hard. There was suddenly a lot of uncertainty in my life again, and this calmness that I had in the last weeks, this feeling of completion, if you will, of understanding, it was gone like in an instant. And I feel like I'm just at the beginning of a new circle, for whatever that means. And this not knowing, not having a clue, it can't be a calm and relaxed state. Fear stems from not knowing. Anxiety stems from not knowing, from not having control, and not from not understanding the rules. And this is where I am right now. But understanding that it's part of the process is good and important, and it helps get through times of not knowing. So I think that's the epiphany this week, is that no matter how smart you think you are, and no matter how much you think you've got it figured out, you don't. And you will realize again and again and again and again, every time after you think you've got it figured out, that it's simply not true. But knowing that you will be at this another stage sooner or later, well, where things will feel right again, is something that helps me get going or keep going.
As a fancy bonus feature of my epiphanies, I'm going to tell you about all the things that I learned this week. Number 1, when you work with 3 different cameras that all take 3 different memory cards, have several of each of the memory cards in all of the locations you shoot in, / never leave with the camera without checking that it has the memory card in it. 2, get new batteries for the Pentax, because the batteries it has seem to be not great anymore. 3, when working with a camera with suboptimal batteries, always just figure out what you're gonna say before turning on the camera, because you don't have much time. 4, light is very important. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with that. 5, when recording yourself, always assume the autofocus is turned off. And check to be sure. I think those are all the technical things. I think that's all. Yes. Okay.
Hello!